Hi guys, today I wanted to talk about the new 5-star featured hero crystals that were announced by Kabam last week. It's a pretty interesting change. I think most people don't like it, and I don't. I kind of fall in that group, but I did want to sort of shine like a optimistic light on it for the future. I think because later down the road this might be a welcome change, but for now it kind of stinks. And the reason that it stinks so bad is that currently we have the option of sort of evaluating a champion via the arena or just the spotlight and deciding that we really like this champion and going for them in a 5-star featured crystal that is targeted for them. The crystals look different. They have like a cool unique look depending on who the champion is. The void crystal had that like half and half yin and yang sort of thing. The Medusa one looks like a crazy, I don't know, cosmic gem or whatever. And you're just thinking like, look, I'm going for my champion. This is my champion. She's going to be my profile picture. I'm going to rank them up immediately. And Kabam is getting rid of all of that. They're going to be moving these crystals into a new style. And that style is, let's see here. The changes, I think I've summarized them here. The changes to the 5-star hero crystal, basically the featured champion is being replaced by 6 new champions. So anytime that 6 new champions come out, 2 weeks later, I think that is 2 weeks later, those 6 champions are going to be added to a featured crystal, which is going to stick around for 3 months while 6 new champions get added, because we all know that 2 champions come per month. Sometimes they break that tradition, they go 3 champions. I don't know how they're going to handle that in the future, but we'll see. So these 6 new champions are going to be the only new champions in this crystal. So we've got a fixed 24 champion pool. Now, how are the other 18 champions decided? Kabam is actually going to hand pick the champions, and the pool that is out currently, hopefully I can flash that on the screen. If not, just trust me, it stinks. It's full of champions like Cyclops, Jane Foster. I think Ant-Man's even in it. I mean, it's Ronin. There's so many bad champions. They handpicked some of the worst champions in the basic pool, and I don't like that either. They could have done a lot better on that. So there's 6 new ones, 18 old ones. Basically, your chance to get the champion you're looking for. So say the champion you're looking for, Medusa, came out in the last 3 months. The featured crystal has been updated. You now only have a 4.2% chance to pull her. You do have a 25% chance to pull one of the other champions that came out with her, but what if one of them was Carnage? Karnak. I'd like Karnak. But what if one of them was Carnage? You really don't want Carnage. You don't like him. You didn't like his comics or whatever, and you just don't want him. But too bad. He's in the crystal now, and it's the same chance to get Carnage as it is to get Medusa. So that just makes it less fun. This is going to change every 3 months. So Kabam says they're never going to repeat 2 basic 18 curated pools twice in a row. So it could happen that a feature crystal comes around that you really like. You like most of the 18 champions that are in there, and you like 5 out of the 6 feature champions that are in there. So it's worth it for you in that month. And also the last thing that you should be aware of is that there's a lot of things, but the last thing I've summarized here is there is no sub-featured pool. So during those 3 months, new champions are being released. They are not being added to a sub-featured pool. You have no chance of getting them until the 3 months later when the featured champion crystal is updated. So champions released at the beginning of this 3-month stretch it's going to be a long time before anybody can get them as 5 stars, unless you spin for Grandmaster featured crystals. Champions released at the end are going to be released relatively quickly into these featured 5-star crystals. So let's just I decided to do some math. Before, the crystal odds were really hard to calculate, and I wouldn't have even tried. The idea was, look, I've got 15,000 shards. I want a better chance. I'm going to spend the shards for the better chance. We're pretty sure it was around 20 to 25%, but nobody really knows. And there was sub-featured. Nobody knew the chances on that, but the chances are actually a lot more clear-cut now. So I decided to do a little bit of math, and I want to preface this by saying like I'm not a statistician at all. I'm not even. I used to be good at math, but I'm not very good anymore. But I decided to put together some variables and a spreadsheet and see if I cannot calculate what the actual price of a champion is. Because what I wanted to get at was eventually say that this crystal was available for 4-star heroes. Now that means it would cost 50% more, which would be 3,000 shards for a crystal that had only 24 champions in it, and 6 of them were guaranteed to be new. That would be the only crystal I buy at this point. It's way better value for me at this point to have a 25% chance at a new champion would be amazing. Like, we're trying to add to our rosters. So I'm making the assumption that eventually we're actually really going to like this featured crystal for our 5-star rosters, but it's going to be a long time before we actually like it. And I'm going to show that with the math here, hopefully. So the variables I've got here are, what we want to do is want to calculate how many new champions, the number of new champions that we're actually going to get from a featured crystal opening or a basic crystal opening. The number of crystals is a variable. The percent chance at a new champion is a variable, and that gives us our number of new champions. The number of crystals depends on the shards, the amount of shards you have. So a basic crystal is cheaper, so you have more crystals for the same amount of shards. 10,000 versus 15,000 shards per crystal. So basically, the number of shards that you're spending divided by the number of new champions is the price for that champion, or for price per new champion. So basically what I'm saying is, how many shards does it cost? How many shards do you have to spend to get a new champion added to your roster? Because a lot of these are going to be duplicates. Duplicating a 5-star champion is good, but we also want to add to it. Eventually the game always gets to the point where you want to add to your roster. Think about 2-star, 3-star champions. You always want the new ones because you want a bigger roster. So moving on to the basic 5-star hero crystal pool, the number, I'm using this like hashtag roster, number roster is the number of champs in your roster that are also in this crystal. The total number of champs is the number of total champs in the pool. So I think it's going to be 84 in a little bit. So I just started using that 84. And so the percent at a new champion is actually the total number of champs in the pool minus what you already have in your roster divided by the total number of champions. So that's basically, I've got 20, say I have 21 5-star champions, there's 84 in the pool. That means that there are, 63 that I don't, is that right? 63 that I don't have, which is 75% of 84. So I have a 75% chance of opening a basic crystal and getting a new champion. Pretty good. Now let's move down to the featured crystal. Now, there's a flat 6 out of 24, which is a 25% chance to get a new champion. That's because the 6 heroes that are in this featured crystal are guaranteed to be new. This is assuming you're not spinning Grandmaster featured crystals. The odds are definitely going to be changing a lot based on individual player choices. But I think this is going to be like more of a general rule of thumb. Everybody's going to have to make their own decision. But basically, the champion, the 18 curated pool, you might also have some champions in your roster that are in that, and you're gonna have to check that every single time if you actually want to do, the best math or the best statistical choice. So that pool, which is 18 minus the number of champions in your roster divided by 24, will be the number of champs. Will be plus the flat. Sorry, this is getting confusing. Plus the flat 25% chance is going to be the chance of you getting a new champion out of this featured 5-star crystal pool. So flat 25% plus whatever's remaining is going to equal your chances. So let's assume that the roster that they curated has 6 champions that you also have. So that equals 18 minus 6, which is 12 divided by 24, 50% plus the flat 25% chance, which is 75% chance. So if you have 21 champions, 6 of them are in the pool, then your chances at a new champion are equal for each crystal, and you should probably spin the basic crystal. Unless you really like those 6 champions and you want a shot at them. that's just the decision you're gonna have to make. We're just gonna be going over the price, and that's it. So let's take a minute and go over to this spreadsheet I created. Now, this spreadsheet, if some of the math I'm doing is wrong, feel free to let me know. I'm pretty sure that there's got to be a mistake in here somewhere, but it seems like the results are logical, so I'm going to go with them for now. Okay, so here we are in the spreadsheet, and this spreadsheet was meant to have a few inputs and sort of output what the number of new champions that you can probably expect with a given number of 5-star crystal shards. So I've got up here the number of shards you have. I've got the total number of champions in the basic pool, because this is actually variable. Every 3 months we're going to get 6 new champions. So this the whole curve is actually going to shift over time, which is kind of hard to show in sort of like a static view like this. I've got the number of champions in the featured pool, which aren't new, and this is fixed. It's always going to be 18 because then there's 6 of the new ones. And then I've got down here the number of 5 stars that you have in your roster. Now remember from the presentation before or whatever, this number actually depends on if you have opened Grandmaster feature crystals or not. If you have champions that aren't in the basic pool, like Unstoppable Colossus would not be counted on here. And basically what I have here is the number of in your roster that are in the current 18 curated featured pool, whatever we're going to call that in the future. This number is actually calculated by coming up with a ratio of 18 to 84. And then this will actually, the ratio will change as the pool gets bigger. It's just an estimate, guessing how many in that 18 or you actually have if you have a certain number of 5-star champions already. So it's a total estimate. It would be a little bit more accurate if the curated 18 champion pool was random, but it looks like it's not going to be random. It looks like it's going to be hand-picked by Kabam, so we can't be totally sure what the odds are going to be. But I think this is a decent estimate for now. 18 out of 84 is 0.21, so I can expect 0.21 of my 5 stars are going to be in that 18 champion pool. So anyway, so what I've got here is formulas to calculate the percent chance at a new champion based on the number of champions in my roster, and then I multiply that over the amount of crystals I can get based on the number of shards, and I come up with a number of new champions. And then I divide that by the number of shards I was spending to get the price for each new champion. So as you can see, it's never going to be lower than 10,000 for a basic and 15,000 for a featured, because that's the price for a new champion if you have 0 5 stars. But as you gain 5 stars, your chances of duping a champion become bigger, and the price for a new champion goes up. And eventually these actually cross, and the featured champion crystal becomes cheaper if your only goal is looking for new champions. And you can see that down here in the 50 to 60 range, 55 to 60 range, it actually crosses. And if you have that many 5 stars, which is a ridiculous amount at this point in the game, then you're actually better off buying the feature crystal if you're looking for new champions. Now, it's really important to understand that it's not everybody's goal to just maximize their 5-star roster. They might want a specific champion. There might be 3 featured champions in the pool that they actually would be super happy with all 3 of them, and they're willing to spend a little bit more to get them. It's really important to take that into account. This is a decision that you should just make every month. Am I willing to spend 5,000 more shards on a feature champion? Maybe not. It'll also depend a lot on how many champions you have in that. What if some crazy coincidence happens and you have all 18 of those champions in the curated pool? Well, you've got a pretty good chance of just duping one of those. Now, if your goal is to get as many 6-star shards as possible, then you might actually want to buy a featured crystal in that case. So this spreadsheet wasn't meant to be a tool to like make the decision for you. I think that's just going to be in each and every person's head. But it is meant to show that over time, this is going to change. So I wanted to show, like, say in the future there are 96 champions in the pool. Now the curve actually shifts and it doesn't cross over until well past 60 champions. So it's going to be hard to get to this level, and only the people who are kind of pushing and constantly getting new 5 stars are actually going to be at this level where they actually, it's actually the best option for them to open featured crystals. I have a feeling most of us are going to be hovering around in this zone of like 20 to 40 champions for a very long time. And basically what that means is open basic crystals unless you have some sort of strong affinity for the featured ones, or there is a high percentage of like god tier champions in that 6 featured champion pool. So this is basically it. You can play around with this. I haven't decided yet whether or not to post a link for this. I've done it before for other things, and but I'm not sure. So let me know in the comments if you guys think if you guys really want a link to this. I can maybe create a dummy copy, but I don't think it's not super useful. It's just a demonstration, I think. I just wanted to confirm a theory I had that eventually this crystal becomes desired, like becomes something we actually want. Because you can see eventually, like down here, let's see, let's go back down to 84. Down here, the price for a new champion is 36,000 as opposed to 44,000 shards. It's much cheaper if you want a new champion just to buy the 15,000 shard crystal. So it's just a demonstration to show that is the case. But other than that, I don't have a ton else to say on the featured crystals. I'll wrap it up in a second. I might wrap it up in another segment, just summarizing everything I've done. We'll see you over there. Alright guys, thanks for sticking with me on this one. It's been a long video, and a lot of editing too, to be honest. But this is the end. To summarize everything, the 5-star featured crystals are no more. They have a new system where they're going to pick 18 champions, and then they're going to give you 6 new champions. And this is the next pool. It's on my screen here. This is the little drawing I was flashing around in the presentation earlier. And you've got an equal shot at any one of these 24 champions. So everybody's going to have to decide for themselves. I personally think that this pool of 24 is pretty crap. I wouldn't recommend anybody spending 15,000 shards on this. The chances that you get anybody useful are really low. Even if you wanted to target somebody, say Taskmaster is your favorite champion, your chances are super low of pulling Taskmaster. Most likely you're going to pull one of these 18 up here. And I don't see anybody but maybe Dr. Octopus who I would actually want to add to my roster. Besides Phoenix, I know if she's got like amazing prestige, I would obviously love a Phoenix, but like I said, you can't target champions in this new system, which is really a shame. Being able to target champions was, God, what made those featured crystals so fun. But as you saw in the video, there's a silver lining. A year from now, when our 5-star rosters are massive and we have so many we don't know what to do with them, we're gonna enjoy having this crystal around, because we're gonna be popping them and we're gonna be getting these new champions pretty quickly. So hopefully we're gonna be sitting on hundreds of thousands of 5-star shards, kind of like how we're sitting on thousands of 4-star shards at the moment. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you took something away from it. Let me know. This is definitely like the sort of discussion video. I would love to hear back from anybody who makes it this far. Leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on the new crystal. I think most people are gonna be hating on it. People might even trash me for putting any optimistic spin on it at all. But just leave your thoughts. It's all good. It's all a discussion. A little debate is pretty healthy. So that'll do. That's it from me. I don't think I have anything else. I hope you guys don't quit the game because of this, and keep playing, and we'll see you in more videos. Take care.